What's up, YouTubers and YouTubettes? Back again with another one. Got a lot happening this weekend in the sport of boxing, man. I'm gonna freestyle a little bit. We're gonna talk about a little bit of everything, man. First of all, we're gonna talk about Gerald Big Baby Miller. He popped dirty again for a third test EPO. And, the fight's already been canceled, man. This is a sad, sad story, man. The Gerald Big Baby Miller story is a sad one, man. He's failed his third test. He finally came out and owned up to it and said he messed up. That's a good thing, man. At first he was trying to deny it. He called Eddie Hearn and said that it wasn't true and no truth behind it and all that. Tried to deny it, but I guess his people must have told him, say, hey, man, you're digging yourself a deeper hole, man. Own up to your mistakes and try to come back from it, man. That's the best route to take, man. He finally owned up to it, said he messed up. He was trying to gain an advantage. I think Freddie Roach said it perfectly, man. He said, sport of boxing, a contact sport, a dangerous sport already, man. That's almost like attempted murder, man. You're taking something that's gonna enhance your endurance. It's gonna enhance your endurance, give you a lot of stamina. It says it helps with your muscle mass. It's stuff of that nature. That's a dangerous combination, man. That's the type of stuff that you're not playing with a level playing field, man. You got an advantage in the sport of boxing where they have had deaths occurred. You look at the Ray Boom Boom Mancini fight where he killed a boxer in the ring. You look at fighters like that, man. You look at the Adonis Stevenson situation, man, where he was in a coma for months. And he's just now on the road to recovery, man. So you've got to play with a level playing field. And the best thing Floyd Mayweather left the sport of boxing, not his undefeated record, not his multiple world championships, not his being the richest athlete in the sport of in all of sports, but his greatest legacy is getting that random drug testing started, that Olympic style urine, blood sample random drug testing. That's his greatest legacy, man, because it was a lot of fighters out there, and there's a lot of fighters out there now that are juicing, and he has brought that to the sport of boxing. It kind of came from I'm not gonna say the conspiracy toward Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people thought he was juicing the way he was coming up from the lower ranks, coming up and gaining more power, getting quicker knockouts than he were in the lower weights. A lot of that stemmed from that situation. Floyd Mayweather say to fight Manny Pacquiao they would have to have urine, blood, random drug testing, and I think it stemmed from that. But it actually was greater than even Manny Pacquiao. It was something that needed to be implemented in boxing, and a lot of these sanctioning bodies, boxing sanctioning bodies, have implemented random blood and urine testing. So that's to me that's Floyd Mayweather's greatest legacy. Okay, on to the fights we coming up Saturday. We're going to talk about the Danny Garcia, Adrian Granados matchup. I think it's going to be a fun, fan-friendly fight, man. It's going to be a great, great matchup, man. This fight here, to me, reminds me of I think this fight's going to be going a lot like the Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios fight. Brandon Rios and Adrian Granados styles are similar. I think Brandon Rios is probably a little bit better body puncher, but Adrian Granados is probably a little bit more fluid fighter. He throws punches for a little bit more awkward angles than a Brandon Rios did. His punches come from unusual angles, and he's as ferocious as Brandon Rios. And I think he at this point in his career, he's a little bit more fresher than Brandon Rios was. I think Brandon Rios was on the downside of his career when he fought Danny Garcia. And when you look at that fight between Rios and Garcia, it was a very competitive fight. And all the way to the point where Brandon Rios got knocked out, I thought the fight was very, very close. I had Danny Garcia slightly ahead, but Brandon Rios was coming on strong. As when the fight, I think Danny Garcia got off to an early lead in the fight, but I thought Brandon Rios was closing the gap, coming on strong, and the fight was actually real close. I had Danny slightly ahead before Danny was able to knock out Brandon Rios. I think this fight is going to be a little bit similar to that. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. I think it's going to be very, very close. But the difference is I think Adrian Granados is more fresher than Brandon Rios was at that point. So I don't see Danny Garcia knocking him out with one punch. I don't see that happening. I think if he does stop him, it's going to be a accumulation of punches. I don't see him knocking Adrian Granados out with one punch, man. Adrian Granados has a great chin. I have never seen him been knocked out. He's been there with some pretty good punches too, man. Adrian Broner, quiet as kept, is a good puncher. Didn't get dropped or hurt in that fight. He fought Sean Porter. Sean Porter is a decent puncher. Not a one punch knockout puncher, but he's got power, man. He's ferocious, and I don't think he was hurt once in that fight. So the guy has a pretty good chin. You know, Danny Garcia knockout punches a left hook, and if he catches Adrian Granados, catches him with a punch that he doesn't see, of course he can knock him out. Anybody can get knocked out. But I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm looking forward to go 12 rounds. I think both fighters will have their moments. I think the only problem Danny Garcia could have in this fight is getting outworked. That's one thing that Sean Porter was able to beat him on. He outworked Danny Garcia. I thought Danny probably landed the cleaner punches, and he probably even landed the more effective punches. But Sean Porter out-hustled and outworked him and was able to get that decision in that fight at the Barclays last year. So that's what he got to worry about against Adrian Granados. I think Adrian Granados knows this could be his last chance on the big stage. You know, he loses this fight, he's gonna probably go to being maybe a journeyman or maybe a stepping stone type of fighter for prospects coming up. So he wants to kind of get out of that. You know, maybe not. He don't want to fall into that situation. So he's gonna be looking to really put his best foot forward in this fight. You know, he's come very close in a lot of fights, man. A lot of fights people thought he won. The Adrian Broner fight, a lot of people thought he won that fight. Very close fight, split decision for Adrian Granados. A split decision for Adrian Broner in his hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio. He fought Sean Porter. A lot of people thought he might have pulled that fight. It was a very close fight as he fought Sean Porter. So he's a guy that's coming up short. So he's gonna be looking to really put on a strong performance and not leaving it to the judges' hands. But the problem is he really don't have knockout power. He hasn't displayed that, and no time in his career has he displayed that one punch knockout power. And you've got to remember that he's moving up in weight from 140 to 147. So that's gonna be another thing. You know, he's fighting a guy that's been at 147. He has established himself at 147 in Danny Garcia. So it's gonna be a tough road to hoe if he's looking to knock out Danny Garcia. So we'll see what happens, man. I like Danny Garcia by decision in this fight. I think he wins that fight somewhere around 7 rounds to 5 in a very competitive and tough matchup, maybe 8-4, 7-5, somewhere in that range. I'm looking for Danny Garcia to get the decision. Let's go on to the card at Madison Square Garden, man. Terrence Crawford versus Amir Khan. I think this is going to be a very, very good fight, man. I think Amir Khan is kind of like in a similar position as Adrian Granados in this respect, that this is probably his last time being in a big fight. You know, he can still probably fight Kell Brook. That'd be a big fight, especially in the UK. And he still has some other fights maybe at welterweight. But this is his last chance to be at that elite level. To win a fight, to be at that elite level. You know, he's tried to get the fights with Mayweather, didn't happen. Manny Pacquiao didn't happen. Now he's fighting Terrence Crawford, arguably the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing. So this is his last chance to get the fight against that perceived #1 guy that he feels that he has the skills to beat. So it's gonna be, so you're gonna get Amir Khan's best foot forward. But I don't think it's gonna be enough against Terrence Bud Crawford, man. I'm looking for him to stop him in the 9th round. I think the key will be, he usually switches up and go from orthodox to the southpaw stance. He's kind of been last several fights. He's been in that southpaw stance, and he can, fight, and it's been very successful to him. When you're fighting a guy like Amir Khan, man, Amir Khan is a guy that he's a very fast. He's got fast hands, fast combinations. So him switching to southpaw could throw off Amir Khan's timing, man. Amir Khan is looking, used to fighting guys the orthodox, the way he can get off his combinations, use his height and his length and his speed to to get off combination and take control of fights, especially early on in fights. I think Terence Crawford is going to take that away from him. I think Terence Crawford's jab is going to be real prevalent in this fight. He's going to be setting that jab up. He's going to go to the body, try to break Amir Khan down, and he's going to catch him with probably with an overhand right, man. Maybe that might be the punch that hurts Amir Khan, man. The guy Terence Crawford is a versatile fighter, man. It's not nothing he can't do in the ring. He's got a good jab, good overhand right, good left hook, good. He can switch it up and go from orthodox to southpaw, back to southpaw, back to orthodox. He can switch it up, in the middle of a round. He can switch it up on you, man. Give you different looks, different fronts, man. He's a puzzle that's hard to solve, man. Whatever you're doing, he's gonna download it and figure out what you're doing. If Khan has that speed, what he'll do is he'll start trying to time Khan, and he'll eventually catch Khan with a shot to get him up out of there. If Khan is out there trying to, I think Virgil Hunter gonna probably try to have Khan throwing combinations and moving. I don't think he wants Khan sitting there too long. Like that's been his problem in a lot of fights. He stays there. He stays in the line of fire too long. Instead of throwing his combinations and getting out of there, he throws a combination. And he gets kind of greedy. He tries to come with another combination instead of maybe a 1-2. He tries to come with a 1-2-3. And when he's trying to throw that 3, he gets caught with a shot, man. It gets hurt bad and end up costing him the fight. So he's got to know how to throw the 1-2, get out of there. Throw the 1-2-3, get out of there. Don't give Terence Crawford a set pattern of what you're trying to do. Because if you give him a set pattern of what you're trying to do, he's gonna start timing you and getting you up out of there. He's gonna start taking all that away from you. So you've got to mix it up against a Terence Crawford, man. You may got to throw a 1-2, get out of there. 1-2-3, get out of there. Throw a jab, get out of there. Throw a left hand, get out of there. Throw a right hand, get out of there. You got to be constantly switching up. Get inside, go to the body, get out of there. You got to switch it up, man. You cannot be a one-trick pony with a Terence Crawford, man, because that guy's got the highest boxing IQ in the sport of boxing, man. But with all that being said, man, I think he's gonna try to do what he's been doing, use his speed, throwing combination, and eventually Terence Crawford is gonna time him, and he's gonna eventually get him out of there probably in round 9. That's my prediction. 9th round KO for Terence Bud Crawford. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to some other things going on in the sport of boxing, man. Gary Russell Jr. is gonna be on the undercard of Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale fighting a guy called Kiko Martinez. The guy has no chance to beat Gary Russell, man. It's a shame, man. This guy's got a lot of talent, man. His only loss was to Vasily Lomachenko, man. This guy's got great talent, man, but he's just not being active enough. I don't know if it's Al Heyman and PBC, or I don't know if it's his team, or is it him, or what the situation it may be, but the guy is wasting his career right now, man. He needs to be in there with major competition, man. He needs to be more active. He hasn't fought since he fought Jojo Diaz. I think that was like middle part of last year, 2018. Here it is in spring of 2019, and you just now got to fight and sign up, and the fight you got signed up is in next month, in the spring, and you ain't fought since last spring, 2018. It's crazy, man. It's been a year, basically been a year since you last fought. You got to be more active, man. I know you've called out you've called out a lot of fighters, man. You've called out a lot of fighters, and a lot of guys don't want to fight you, man, and stuff like that, man. But you've got to stay more active, man. You got to stay more active, man. You've got to go to Al Heyman and your management team and tell them, say, hey, man, I want to be more active. I want to fight the best fighters. If I can't get the title holders, let me get the number one guy in my, number one guy that's ranked under my title. Let me get him. Let me fight him. You fighting Kiko Martinez, man. That's a bum bash, man. You fighting this guy. That's just basically a fight that, you're going to go in there and dominate. But, man, it's not the fight that you need at this point of your career, man. You need to be looking at fighting a Tank Davis, fighting fighters like that. Try to see if you get a rematch with Vasily Lomachenko and fighters like that. That's the guys you got to be trying to look at, man. But anyway, man, he's going to be on the undercard of that Wilder Breazeale fight. And we'll see how it plays out, man. Hopefully after that fight, man, he can get a a big time matchup, man. Preferably with a Tank Davis. If he can't get that number, if he can't get a big fight with a title holder from PBC or a Tank Davis, moving up fighting maybe a Tank Davis, he need to go on over there to Bob Arum, man, and try to see if he can get a fight with Vasily Lomachenko, man. If Vasily Lomachenko ain't got a dance partner, if he's you know, doesn't have nobody, he needs to be at least trying to go over there, man, and maybe negotiate a deal, maybe a 2-fight deal. If Vasily got a fight coming up, maybe he might have a fight lined up. Or, you know, you might have a fight lined up by then, but maybe you get Lomachenko after that fight. You know, that's what he need to be doing, man, because it's kind of like he's wasting his prime of his career, man, being inactive as he is. Yes. So we're gonna. So that's all I got to say, man. This is a freestyle boxing, man. Talking about a lot of things, man. Got 2 great fights coming up, man, and we'll see how those fights play out. This is JB Boxing, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.